Okay, hello my darlings. It's Michaela Folks with Strut. Strut Now on Facebook and at Strut Now on Twitter. And so the title of today's segment is Wake Up to Your Makeup and the diet segment. Waking up to your makeup is basically an encouragement to get honest, an encouragement to be real with what is so right now, okay? Your tendencies, your preferences, and how your life is set up, okay? So we are going to focus in on diet at this moment, and basically we're going to talk more about how than about what. In the past, we have talked about why eating a vegan diet, why eating a high fiber diet tends to be pretty beneficial for fat loss and for fitness, as far as I have experienced. And but we're going to basically just get real about what you do and what you like. So I want to fire 4 big bullets in your direction, and the first one that I want to send your way is preferences. So if you are a meat and potatoes kind of person, if you're a meat off the bone kind of gal, awesome. All right. However, know what it does, okay? Know what it is comprised of, know what it does for your body. If you are happy as a clam, awesome, all right? If you have gut it and it is golden and you want certain things from these segments, and this may not be the one for you. However, if you want a different result, if you have a goal that you have not yet attained, then it might be worth time to evaluate what the bulk of your diet consists of, okay? So, animal products have more calories than plant-based products. That's just kind of the deal, all right? They're delicious, they do amazing things for our body. However, if we eat them exclusively or predominantly, chances are we're probably consuming many calories, okay? So what I want to encourage you to do is to own that, all right? So either A, to own what you love, and B, to own how much you partake of it, okay? So if beef is your sweet little baby that you turn to time and time again during your day or during your week, know it. But think about ways to extend that, to spread that flavor, to spread that consistency out within a meal, within a day, within your week. And a lot of people are pretty conscious about, I have fish this number of times and or beef this number of times. Great. So if meat is your persuasion, poultry is your passion, think about ways to put this in with high fiber foods. So adding this into a meal with grains, adding this into a meal with beans, adding this into a meal with whole wheat pasta, adding this into something that has high fiber breads, which I'm a fan of, or vegetables. I definitely am a proponent of having insoluble fibers within your meal, insoluble fiber within your meal. So having something like a grain in addition to just a vegetable, but offset it with that, okay? So that just might be a way that you don't feel deprived, because if you do, you're going to derail the effort and go right back to what you love, which is so understandable, okay? So that might be one thing to entertain, all right? Topic number 2. Another thing is basically if you have set your sights on a certain way that you want to eat, certain types of food, a certain frequency that you want to eat at, the big question is, how are you going to do that? If you are someone that, loves her time in the kitchen, awesome. If you have that time, great. If you don't, how are we going to make this happen? Are you choosing prepared foods? Are you going to establishments that serve items that support what you want to be doing? And if so, great. Just know where these things are. Know how this is going to factor into your day. And additionally, we talked about starting off small. Let that be one thing. Maybe it's lunch. Maybe it's cooking, for a couple days. Maybe it's making a point to have a really solid dinner. Start somewhere, okay? Start somewhere, one little thing, and get that little nugget, all right? That'll be gold for the rest of your existence. Okay. So, additionally, I want to talk about big deal meals. So this is topic number 3 within this Wake Up to Your Makeup, the dietary segment. Big deal meals. So going out to an amazing restaurant, going to a fun event, going to a party, where we tend to have celebratory foods, which are rich, which are sweet, which taste amazing. So I am not the queen of denial, certainly around food. And what I want to encourage you to do is to have that, okay? Honor your belly. I'll encourage you to do that. Maybe, that doesn't always happen, and that's okay too. Have it, account for it, okay? So whether it is that same day, maybe you dial back a little bit that same day by eating small portions often really is the goal for your metabolism and calories. So if you know that you are, destined for this divine dinner later in the evening, factor it in. Or if you just had that last night with, cocktails galore and multiple desserts, the next day start anew, okay? And start consciously. Again, having something small, having, again, high fiber foods, things that have complete proteins with its, adding in Greek yogurt, that's my thing in the morning, or offsetting it with a bean or soy, or having a small amount of animal protein. But factor it in, okay? And that's really, because balance, it's a landscape, right? It's not an event. It's a whole picture. And so when you start to basically be able to kind of ebb and flow based on what's happening, you will still get the result you desire and not feel like a victim. You'll be able to feel in control because, at parties and things like that, that's a pretty charged situation. It's pretty easy to have, a glass of wine or two and to, eat lots of cheese and crackers or go back to the fondue or whatever. But if you're, at home or in your day and it's not a life or death situation, whether you have anything that is calorie laden, then that might be the chance, that might be the time to choose something that is lower in calories so that when you do indulge, you don't feel guilty, okay? So the last thing that I want to talk about with waking up to the deal at hand are trigger foods. And so we have talked about emotional eating, and I want to encourage you to be grateful for that signal. To honor that signal that something is up. Even if you are not dealing with it at that very moment, just know something is up, okay? So, trigger foods are foods that we tend to feel a little less in control around. They're foods that we can very easily consume a large amount at any given time. So what I want to encourage you to do is to think about that when you are purchasing them or bringing them into your home. They're like a vampire, people. You know what I mean? It's like if you bring it in, you've got to deal with what happens after they've crossed the threshold. Okay? So not to say that if ice cream is your bag, if chocolate is your creature of comfort, or peanut butter, if you want it, have it. Get it, okay? The two big options with that are to either, if you are in a place where you feel more conscious and on top of what you're choosing, maybe you have a deal with yourself. It's like I'm going to have a spoonful of this, or I'm going to have, a couple scoops of ice cream or whatever. If you're not at that point, if things feel pretty, tense and trying right now, you may not want to bring that into your home, okay? Because the truth is that if you don't have the ice cream that night, you're going to be okay. And it might actually help you get closer to your goals. Okay? So, a lot of people use when I'm out, I eat more freely. I said, do not deny yourself, please. Just know what your tendencies are and know what these choices will result in. That's all. No guilt, no shame. Really, it's actually something that might free up a kind of a locked in, a hooked in pattern. Is just to look at things a little more objectively. Okay. So I hope that this is helpful, the how around some dietary behaviors and just getting real about the whole situation, okay? What you want and what you typically do, and what does what. So the whole goal in this is just to help you look amazing and feel divine. So I hope this helps in that effort. And so be in touch always, please. And thank you always. So until next time.